Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo, calling all the action for EA Sports. We're at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Frank, what makes this such a good test?
It's got a great flow to it, Rich. Holes that bend in both directions, changes of elevation, the phenomenal finish that's named the Green Mile, which is 16, 17, and 18, some reachable par fives. Players have gone low here as well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities. It's just a great blend, Rich.
Here we are at the first tee on this beautiful day in Charlotte, North Carolina.
418 yards, dogleg to the right. There's some bunkering down the right there, Rich, and fairway does tilt to the right. You don't have to hit driver here. Driver, 3-wood and just a short iron, off to a good start.
So that sets up a tougher second shot, missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. Well, this one has a chance to be really good. That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Hunter Mahan, second shot.
This is definitely not going down the fairway.
It doesn't look good. I think it's going to be in the deep rough. Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. -1, meaning early going. There's a birdie try now for Hunter Mahan. Has the putt, and now at -1. Frank, this is a really fun hole, a pretty short par 3 downhill.
Yeah, half a club, you can allow for that, so it won't play its full yardage. You can really see that right part of the green. That's the most inviting one, but when they stick the flag on the left, you really have to be precise. This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. And it looks like it's in the rough there, Frank.
It might not be as bad as it looks. This is way left going left.
And that one's going to be in the rough, it looks like. And into the thicker stuff.
Let's see if he can bludgeon this one out.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
He'll need to be strong with this. These putts keep the round together. Solid par to remain 1 under. So a tester from 4 feet. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Frank, here at the third, players facing a challenging tee shot.
For a number of reasons, Rich. One, that the hole bends to the left. Two, that the fairway starts to run out. And three, the length of the second shot. You get rewarded the better you hit your tee shot down here.
Wow, way to the right here.
And there's rough over there. Rich, there's rough and rough. That ball is needle-nosed down.
Can't even see it from here. Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. Frank did the prudent thing there, didn't he?
Yeah, in the end, really, you could have turned that into a disaster. Instead, actually a good chance, really, to perhaps get away with par. Second shot. That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think, you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Frank, that was a pretty good shot right there.
Yeah, he's done well to minimize the damage.
Now the approach here at the third. Rory McIlroy looking to take advantage with this putt. Not used to seeing that. Going to drop a shot at the third. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Stays at 1 under with that par. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. And so just getting started, even par so far. Frank, this is a muscular par 4 here at just under 490 yards, the fourth at Quail Hollow, a difficult proposition.
It is, but fortunately that tee shot plays a little downhill. But one of the difficulties with the tee shot is the fairway kicks from right to left. So it needs a good one to keep it on the fairway, and another green that has 3 different levels.
Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point, you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. Second shot coming out of the rough here.
Well, Mr. Ball does not meet Mr. Fairway. It's off, rough.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. You can see a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough. Should be pretty good right there, on the safe side.
I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Well, this one's tracking. Oh, he's gonna love it.
How far was that? That was miles away.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Good stroke right there. That's a par and stays at 1 under. Frank, in today's modern game where players are hitting it so far, I always feel like one of the more exciting holes is a reachable par 5, and here we are at the 5th, 570 yards.
Yeah, this is reachable providing you hit a good drive. Otherwise, it becomes very awkward on the layup. Sort of often threading the ball out of trees and just trying to find some sort of third shot. So to your point, big advantage with a good tee shot here.
We moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
How tough is this going to be now from the rough, Frank?
Oh, it's tough to say, Rich. I mean, so much is going to depend on that lie. I'm going to need a little bit of luck.
Second shot coming out of the rough here.
Off the flight path again.
Frankie's managed to hit it in the rough yet again.
Yeah, this is hard to imagine. You know, the fairways aren't that narrow today. Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit. Good recovery shot. Couldn't make the green, but at least he's back in play.
Played the smart shot right there. Unable to square up the club face, Frank.
Yeah, it was always starting right, and it looks like it's staying there.
Birdie try up next. Let's see what the dominant #1 player can do. Rory McIlroy now on the approach shot. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He is just so explosive. A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. Did the job right there. Now set to tee off at the 6th. It is a long par 3, 250 yards.
We could take a little bit off for the downhill, but whichever way you look at it, it's still going to be a beefy par 3. Protected on the left by that front bunker, and if you sort of scoot one long, there's another bunker over there as well.
And it is not looking like a good lie. Frank, this one's going too far left, it looks like.
Yeah, it was fine there for a little while, but if it keeps going left, it's doomed.
Not quite what he was hoping for. The tee shot in the bunker. Now from the bunker.
Yeah, just a little splash out on this par 3.
He'll take that one all day long. Very solid, about 15 feet away. Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
Hunter Mahan for par. Oh my gosh, that hurts. Frank, we see it every single round. These kind of putts determine whether it's a good score or an average score.
Yeah, and just like that, a bogey. And does not feel like he deserves it.
And with that, 1 under par. Well, not going to make par here. He needs this to only give up 1. So not his best work. He'll walk away with a bogey. Frank, there's a lot to chew on here as you get to the tee at the 532-yard par 5 7th.
In today's game, 530 plus change you'd think is incredibly short. And look at the trouble in front of you. Water all the way down the right side and around that right side of the green. Bunkers left. This is not for the faint of heart.
They'll pay a little bit of a price for missing the fairway here because from that rough, you cannot control the spin on the golf ball. Really good play off the tee, at least 300 yards and in the fairway. Frank, getting set for this approach shot, our featured golfer is a player, it's obvious, in full flight right now.
It is. This is where it doesn't matter what the sport is, and golf is a great example for it, though, where when you play your best, it's almost like you're just playing out of your subconscious. Everything happens, it just flows, and you don't really think about it.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he's thinking on that.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in.
Should be safely on deck.
Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Frank, a little chip shot here from the fringe. Now, a lot of options. I've seen some players hit 6-iron. Others will shut down like a sand wedge.
Yeah, there's two schools of thought. Some people just try and perfect like one club, but really the best chippers chip with a variety of clubs.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. So close. That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole. These putts keep the round together. And with that, he'll go to 3 under.
Even par, apparently.
Lost that mini battle right there on that hole with a bogey and slips to 1 over par. Frank, I love a drivable par 4. In the modern power game, it really adds an element of excitement. And here we go at the 350-yard par 4/8.
Well, you're definitely going to love this one then, Rich, because it ticks all the boxes here. There's no water in play, just a few bunkers down the left and the one that protects the right side of the green. And you've got a really narrow green, so plenty of reward with minimal risk.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Wayward from the tee, and this one is headed for the rough, Frank. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now we'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
Frank, he might like this one. He might like... Oh, he's got... This one has a chance, and he has it. Beautiful putt. Just a couple of feet. One over for the day. Frank, this is a really good way to finish out the front side here at Quail Hollow. 495-yard par 4.
Yeah, it's the longest par 4 at Quail Hollow. Some say it might be the toughest. I'm not quite in that camp. And the reason why, that green slopes in from both sides, the left and the right. But you can see why good drivers have done well here, because it was a big reward for thumping a big, long, straight drive down here.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Frank, this ball's in the rough. You like to hinge just a little bit quicker on the takeaway when the ball is down like this?
No, when it's down, you've just got to make sure that you wind up almost like you're hitting a tee shot. This is not one to be dallied with. You've got to hit it powerfully, and you really have to focus on that club getting through the grass, past the ball, and out the other side.
That's a bit offline in the rough. This, the second shot here at the par 4. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot. Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Might be. Could be. Wow, I can't believe he found the cup on that one.
Clean up on aisle 5.
He has this for par. Okay, has it and stays at 1 over par. On the tee now at the 10th at Quail Hollow, par 5.
Just under 600 yards, so once again the 300-yard plus tee shot gets a big advantage here, as it should on a reachable par 5. A nice little draw off that tee, keeping it right of the bunkers, should be ideal.
Headed for the bunker. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. Well, not this time. That one's in the rough. Might be a tough shot coming up.
Good recovery shot. Couldn't make the green, but at least he's back in play.
Played the smart shot right there. Frank, just a slight miss off the tee. He's in the fairway bunker.
Yeah, just really got to pick the right club once again. Sometimes you take a little bit more club out of the fairway bunker, choke down.
His second shot.
Normally you'd say that's a bad tee shot, but this is a pattern, Rich.
Frank, it's a hard game to play from the high grass.
And that's where he's been more often than not today.
Frank, anything you do differently from the rough in terms of your swing? Do you hinge the club a little bit more quickly?
No, normally put the ball just a little bit further back in your stance because you want the club to be going down. Down, it's got to go down through the grass, through the ball.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Now the third shot for Hunter Mahan. Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet. Looks like he just misread that. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know, it might just go in.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
So a tester from 4 feet. Four under on the day. Not what he had in mind when he stepped to the tee, but it would be just one drop shot. This for bogey. So 2 over par for the round. Back here at the par 4 11th at Quail Hollow, set to tee off. What's the right game plan here, Frank?
Oh, there's 2 really. That left bunker off the tee, it's about 265 yards to get it on the fairway, or 308 yards, 310 yards run out there. I've seen players just try and carry the bunker, sort of set up a short iron, and I've seen players like McIlroy just try and blast a driver with a hook on it. Both strategies have worked.
Frank, so many different lies in golf. This is one you don't see too much. The golf ball is on the mulch.
Yeah, and it never really sits up, so this is one of those ones. You've got to be much more conservative than you'd like to be. Play for the fat of the green.
Well, he pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
Yeah, about 145 yards left here. Regarded as a very accurate player, that shot says it all. Frank, just into that first cut.
Yeah, it's sitting up. Really, this isn't too bad a situation.
These putts keep the round together. Continues to amaze, yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Just a little tap in here. Did the job right there. Here we are now at the 12th, and Frank, this is a beautiful but dangerous hole, par 4.
It is in a number of ways. The hole bends gently to the right, which you'd think would favor a nice little fade, but the fairway just seems to shrink up. I've seen this fairway missed by so many good players. And plus its yardage, 450 odd. You can't really lay back too far, otherwise you've got too long for your second shot.
Well, that ball nestled down just a bit in that heavy rough. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Frank did the prudent thing there, didn't he?
Yeah, in the end, really, you could have turned that into a disaster. Instead, actually a good chance, really, to perhaps get away with par.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. Yeah, that was a little over-ambitious.
Let's see what the dominant number one player can do. Rory McIlroy now on the approach shot. That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Well, too bad. He'll have to play from the bunker. Mishit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All of the above, maybe. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. It wasn't that hard a shot. Great shot out of the rough. He avoided all the troubles just to get that on the green.
That was not an easy shot. He'll settle. Well, in the sand, but it has been raked nicely, looking for something positive. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Two over for the day. Just a couple of feet. That puts them at 4 under for the round. Here we are at the par 3, 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one actually where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So it's just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required. In the direction of the sand.
Looks like it. Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Frank, not close, but from that line, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Great professionals, Frank, they don't fear the green side bunker shot, do they?
No, because you can be as aggressive or as conservative as you want. You actually have far more options. And you don't have to hit the ball first. Really. This is an awkward length.
So close.
And yet it still counts for another shot.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Routine stuff for Rory, that's a par. In for a bogey. Well, now we come to the really interesting 345-yard par 4 14th. Frank, I'm thinking that if you're leading, you're probably not going to try to drive this and take on the risk with the water on the left. But if you're behind, you have a chance to make up some ground.
Yeah, I have it written in my yardage book, Rich, on this hole. Only good and bad things happen with a driver. Nothing in between.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Frank, on this approach shot here at the short par 4 14th, what's the best way to attack this flag?
Height's always a safety factor because the ball's going to land softer. So this is one where you'd opt for an aerial approach rather than a little pitch and run.
That is another laser right at the flagstick. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
You've got to be kidding me. That was right on the edge.
I tell you, he wants a do-over there.
Getting set now over the putt. Starting to climb back at +2. Clean this up with a tap. Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. Now at the par 5, 15th hole, 577 yards. Frank, you remember what Rory McIlroy did here in 2010, that final round, 62?
I certainly do, Rich. That was an amazing run on the second 9. And holes like this, too. He just stood up here with a driver and just obliterated it down there with a nice draw. Took those bunkers out of play and just set up a mid-iron.
Excellent drive, Frank. Right where you want to be. Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. From a perfect position, ready to play his next shot. Really has not been bothered all day long by these strong winds. Good play so far. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Crucial eagle attempt on the way. Now the third shot for Hunter Mahan. Long putt here. This will require a good touch. Well, that's all you want right there. Just lag it down, don't get too crazy, and now just a tap in left. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. Rolls in the par putt, stays at +2. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. At last, we have arrived at the start of one of the most daunting finishing stretches in all of golf. They call it the Green Mile, 16, 17, and 18 here at Quail Hollow. The 16th is a par 4, 508 yards, Frank.
And this hole was made even more difficult when they pushed that green further left to bring the water more in play with the second shot. I mean, it's a great par 4. It's strong in every single department.
Frankie's managed to hit it in the rough yet again.
Yeah, this is hard to imagine. You know, the fairways aren't that narrow today.
Good contact, good result. Frank, not surprisingly, Rory McIlroy owns the event record here, 21 under par. That came in 2015. He won by a touchdown by 7 shots. And then we all remember what he did here in 2010.
Yeah, remember the runner-up, which was Patrick Rogers. He shot 14 under, and that's won just about every other championship at this event. So it shows you the magnitude of Rory's victory. An artist needs a canvas. A golfer needs a golf course. For Rory McIlroy, Quail Hollow was the perfect landscape to show his skills.
So in the first cut here, it could be worse. Birdie chance now for Hunter Mahan. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Nudge this one home, finish it up. Did the job right there. Just 2 holes remaining here at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the signature par 3, 221 yards, the 17th.
And they have a multitude of tees here. One of the new back tees is actually where the old 16th green was. And if you think don't go left is the way to play, then that won't work either, because right's not that much good. This is it. Stand on the tee and you better hit a good shot.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot.
Hazard?
Maybe wet. Good news is, was able to retrieve the golf ball.
Yeah, on dry land, and can he carry it this time, though?
Third shot now, after the last one found the deep blue.
Yeah, you can still minimize the damage here. It's only one bad shot that got punished for.
Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
do that? Not a gimme, but well within his range. Three over for the day. Now to the finishing hole here at Quail Hollow. Frank, what can we expect?
If there was a name for this hole, Rich, it should be called Narrows. The creek that meanders its way down the left side and actually divides that hole into really half the size of what a normal par 4 should be. That makes it hard. The bunker on the right is your bailout area, just over 290 yards to get past that, and then the narrowest green that still sits up against the lake. This is just a brutal finish.
Not the best shot, this one in the rough, but still we'll have a play from there. Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Second from an excellent lie. Extra stroke at it after going into the water. After hitting it in the drink, this is the fourth shot.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. The scorecard is quickly adding up. Off the flight path again.
So toweled off, dried off, and ready to go.
Yeah, let's hope this swing he hasn't still got the floaties on.
Playing his fourth shot after the third was wet.
I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. And getting ready for the putt. Be looking to turn the tide tomorrow after a round of 76. This is a 9-footer. And he makes it for a bogey here. Frank, just some great golf here today.
Yeah, that's a round to remember. Not often you play that well and you feel like you were head and shoulders above the rest of the field.
What a thrill to watch. And for Frank Nobilo and our entire team, I'm Rich Lerner saying